I am Kesten Rono, and you are here for day 5 of A Course in Miracles. Thank you so much for being here, joining me again on this quest of love and gratitude. Yesterday, expanding on the ideas that all miracles spring forth from love, we learned that they mean life. And God's voice, we were told, will direct us very specifically, I would imagine, in the direction of discovering more life through the miracle of love. And we took on a new exercise of asking ourselves to recognize any thoughts that we are having and recognize that these thoughts might be blocking our true thoughts, and accept that, so new in this practice, we have to take things very, very slowly, allowing ourselves only 1 minute of reflection of our thoughts so we do not become mindlessly lost. And taking any of these thoughts, what we believe to be good or bad, recognizing that those are both blocking our true thoughts, we allowed ourselves to say, this thought about the future, about what's next, does not mean anything. I hope you enjoyed that practice. We're going to dive into Principle of Miracles number 5. Miracles are habits and should be involuntary. They should not be under conscious control. Consciously selected miracles can be misguided. Being asked to release control. I noticed that in the exercises we're being asked to release meaning, understanding, and here being asked to release control. Miracles are habits and should be involuntary. So if miracles are involuntary, they are not voluntary, meaning they are always happening to some degree, and that this behavior should be habitual. Miracles are habits and should be involuntary. They should not be under conscious control. So it sounds almost like miracles could be under conscious control, and in theory, we should be releasing conscious control over whatever is governing the creation of miracles. Consciously selected miracles can be misguided. So when we are pointing our attention toward a particular outcome, expecting a particular outcome, praying for a particular outcome, even manifesting, I suppose, as this is suggesting through love, a particular outcome, consciously selected miracles, and then manifesting in some way that we can observe that we may be misguided. I suppose if we're consciously selecting, then we're not leaving space for the involuntary, the habit, for the miracle of life to spring forth. And if we're steering, then God probably isn't. And according to Principle 4, we will be open to the idea that somehow we will be told all we need to know. So today, let's accept that miracles can be habits, that they are not to be under conscious control, and consciously selecting miracles that we believe would be a benefit can be misguided. Lesson 5. Lesson 5 reads, I am never upset for the reason I think. I am never upset for the reason I think. This idea, like the preceding one, can be used with any person, situation, or event you think is causing you pain. Apply it specifically to whatever you believe is the cause of your upset, using the description of the feeling in whatever term seems accurate to you. The upset may seem to be fear, worry, depression, anxiety, anger, hatred, jealousy, or any number of forms, all of which will be perceived as different. This is not true. Okay, so pausing there, our perception of any version of upset, which could be wildly different. I'm afraid, or I'm worried. I'm depressed, possibly about the past. I'm anxious about the future. I'm angry. I have hatred. I have jealousy, or any other number of forms, I suppose antithetical to the path of love, that we would naturally feel inclined to perceive these as different feelings. And we're being told that this is not true. So moving forward for today's exercise, let us consider that any feeling of upset is the same, or at least not different. However, until you learn that form does not matter, each form becomes a proper subject for the exercises for the day. Applying the same idea to each of them separately is the first step in ultimately recognizing they are all the same. So here, like the 1 minute exercise yesterday, we're being asked to not bite off more than we can chew. So let's accept whatever we notice when we evaluate what makes us upset. Even if we feel they're different, we're relaxing that and using it for the sake of the exercise. And in time, we'll come to relax to the idea that all versions of what we are noticing in this way are the same. When using the idea for today for a specific perceived cause of an upset in any form, use both the name of the form in which you see the upset and the cause which you ascribe it to. For example, I am not angry at blank for the reason I think. I am not afraid of blank for the reason I think. I am not angry at blank for the reason I think. Or I am not afraid of blank for the reason I think. I am not afraid of the unknown for the reason I think. But again, this should not be substituted for practice periods in which you first search your mind for sources of upset in which you believe and forms of upset which you think result. Let me read that again, please. This should not be substituted for practice periods in which you first search your mind for sources of upset in which you believe and forms of upset which you think result. Okay. So we're going to allow ourselves to have a moment where we have an emotion and we believe that it is tied to a particular event or an idea. And ostensibly, this is about, well, we have an upset, excuse me, and we believe this is the source of it, or the source causes this upset form. If someone dies in the family, one of the forms of upset could be sad or anger. And I believe this book is saying that those feelings are justified and okay to feel independently of other forms of upset. And we believe we have an event that immediately creates them, and therefore their existence and how we recognize them is totally justified. But perhaps there are other ways of seeing this. In these exercises, more than in the preceding ones, you may find it hard to be indiscriminate and to avoid giving greater weight to some subjects than to others. It might help to precede the exercises with the statement, "There are no small upsets. They are equally disturbing to my peace of mind." Wow, that is very close to the first principle, that there is no miracle that is harder or bigger than another. Here, there are no small upsets, another size relation to an idea. There are no small upsets. They are equally disturbing to my peace of mind. Okay, all expressions of love are maximal. That's one direction. The other all expressions of upset are equally disturbing to my peace of mind. Are you noticing the same pattern? That we are assigning all meaning we can to items around us and accepting that we have no idea how they work. We do not understand them at all and that they mean nothing. We internalize the same idea and allow some of our ideas themselves to have no meaning. And miracles and upsets both seem to be expressed maximally, that there's no such thing as one greater or lesser than another. Again, even the whole course of this book in miracles is being framed within a window of meaningless right now. And our upsets are all equal. Then examine your mind for whatever is distressing you, regarding of how much or how little you think it is doing so. You may also find yourself less willing to apply today idea to some perceived sources of upset than to others. If this occurs, think first of this. I cannot keep this form of upset and let others go. For the purposes of these exercises, then, I will regard them as all the same. I cannot keep this form of upset and let others go. So if we're really focused in on maybe an event that made us very angry, and angry is all we can feel, and therefore we can no longer allow ourselves to access other events or ideas, other versions of upset. We can tell ourselves that I can't just be angry and let the others go. For the purposes of this exercise, I will regard them as all the same. I will try to relax the idea that some events in my life have been bigger or smaller, and that different versions of upset may exist for me. And for the purpose of today's exercises, I will let them all be the same. So every upset and their perceived sources may be regarded as exactly the same. Then search your mind for no more than a minute or so and try to identify a number of different forms of upset that are disturbing to you, regardless of the relative importance you may give them. Apply the idea for today to each of them, using the name of both the source of the upset as you perceive it and of the feeling as you experience. Further examples are, I am not worried about blank for the reason I think. I am not depressed about blank for the reason I think. 3 or 4 times today is enough. Okay, that was a lot. And why are we here? We are here to feel some version or versions of upset. And we are allowed to reflect on the causes of those upset. And if we get tunneled into a version of upset, say anger versus worry, or fear versus depression, we can relax both it and the cause and relax the idea that all causes, all sources, and all upsets thereafter can be regarded as the same. And we'll simply admit that we're never upset for the reasons that we think. There are no small upsets. They are all equally disturbing to my peace. I am not angry at myself for the reason I think. I am not afraid of the unknown for the reason I think. I am not worried about provision for the reason I think. And I am not depressed about who I have been for the reason I think. Just trying these 4 examples they have included in here may be enough. Will you please allow yourself to feel upset today? Will you search your mind for no more than a minute and be curious about any feelings and sources of anger, fear, depression, anxiety, worry, jealousy, hatred? Will you try those on? No resolution must come. All we want to do is feel them, recognize their source, relax their importance, and simply say, just as we've been admitting we don't know the meaning of items or ideas, that we do not really know why we're upset in the first place. Maybe we imagine we do, and we're clinging on to it. But for the sake of this book and the sake of these exercises and why you might still be here listening now, we simply want to invite the perspective that the same meaning we've been applying to these fears, these upsetnesses or upsets, the meaning we've been applying to these upsets maybe is misguided. And maybe our tunnel vision on their causes and their weights is a reflection of our desire to consciously direct miracles for their peace. And miracles should be habitual and involuntary. And they should leave space for the energy of God to whisper, to give us permission for us to see life in a different way, with more abundance, truth, and love. So please allow yourself to feel for no more than 1 minute. Allow yourself to feel upset and allow yourself simply to say, I am never upset for the reason I think. I am not angry for the reason I think. Wear that idea a few times today. Reflect on it before bed. And ask yourself how you feel when you wake up. May we find levity. And may you enjoy this practice. And may you come back tomorrow. I am Kesten Rono, and I am extremely grateful for you being here and looking at yourself. See you for day 6.